there, welcome to my channel and welcome back for another What's for Dinner. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 6 different recipes that I made for my family of 5 this week. All of these meals are family friendly and very easy to achieve. So if you guys are excited for this kind of video, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and let's jump into it. For this first dinner, we are going to be making some bone-in pork chops on our cast iron skillet, some boiled potatoes, and broccoli. For my pork chops, I'm going to go ahead and season them up with all of these seasonings. I will be sure to leave all of these seasonings listed down below in the description box, as well as each recipe and the timestamp. That way, if you are coming back looking for a recipe, it should be a little easier to find through the description box down below. Over to my stove, I have my cast iron nice and hot, and I'm just going to go ahead and add those bone-in pork chops down. I'm going to cook these on each side for 2 to 3 minutes. Once we have those pork chops seared on each side, we're going to go ahead and stick them in our oven at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. Over to our stove, I have a pot of boiling water with some salt in it, and I'm going to be adding some diced and washed potatoes to this. These are yellow potatoes, and we are just going to boil these until we can stick a fork through them and they are nice and soft. Have drained my potatoes, and now I'm just going to season them up a little bit, and we are going to be loading these on the plate with some cheese and sour cream on top. This is such a delicious combo. For the seasonings, I just used some garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Here is my dinner all done. These potatoes used to be a staple in my house when I was single and living in my first apartment. I used to make these potatoes all the time. This is definitely a super easy side dish that I know you would love, and these pork chops are really easy to achieve too. So for a weeknight dinner, I really love this one. As always, here is how I served it up to the kids, and I made sure to include some applesauce for my picky eater. She probably wasn't going to eat those potatoes, so I wanted her to have a little something on the side that she would eat with her pork chop. And this is just another super easy way that I like to accommodate my picky eater without her feeling pressured to eat things that she doesn't like. Now, I know it's looking like we had potatoes back to back, but you guys, I promise there was a day in between these 2 days, and my oldest son is honestly obsessed with loaded potatoes, so that's why we are having them again. This night, I did some air-fried chicken tenders, baked potatoes, and corn on the cob per my toddler's request. So there's not too much detail to go into this one, so it's kind of going to be a quick little recipe here. But for my baked potatoes, I just soak my potatoes, wash them, and then pat them dry. Then I'm going to add some oil to them, some salt, and then we're going to wrap them up in foil and bake them for 2 hours in the oven at 350 degrees. Favorite parts about baking baked potatoes is that I can throw this in the oven right before I go to school pickup, after school, and then by the time I get home from school pickup, they are usually almost ready. So it's perfect for while I am out the door for just an hour or two. Now we are jumping right into our air fried chicken. Here's what I'm seasoning mine up with. I have some salt, pepper, garlic, adobo, some paprika, sazon, and I'm just gonna mix that together really well, and we are gonna air fry these at 370 degrees for 11 minutes. Here is me and my oldest son's plate. And that brings us to Taco Tuesday. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a Thursday here, but shh, don't tell anybody. So to start off with my taco meat, I'm gonna be grating up half of an onion. This is gonna add some extra nutrients into the quesadillas that I'm gonna make for my kids. My picky eater loves quesadillas, and if she can't tell that the onion's in there, she will eat the whole thing up. Once I get that onion in there, I'm gonna move it over to my heated skillet and add it all together. We're just gonna mix this up until that ground beef is really well cooked. Now that the ground beef has cooked through, I'm gonna go ahead and add a cup of water and 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning. This is my own taco seasoning, but you guys can use whatever kind you'd like. And if you are interested, I will leave the recipe that I follow down below in the description box. To my taco meat, I always add in about a tablespoon of taco sauce. This is the one that I'm using today. This is actually my favorite kind. Now, last minute, my boys asked for some cheese dip, so off camera, I made a really quick Velveeta cheese sauce, and I'm just adding some of that taco meat into it. For the kids' quesadillas, I am using my cast iron skillet, and I'm laying down some flour tortilla shells, some cheddar cheese, some queso fresco cheese, and a little bit of our taco meat. Then you want to add a little more cheese on top of the taco meat so the other side of the quesadilla can fold over and stick. And that is how easy it is to make some quesadillas. Here is how I serve this dinner up to the kids. They had their quesadillas, some of the meat and cheese sauce, and some chips. My 4-year-old also asked for some carrots, so that's why he has some there. And my oldest son ended up eating 3 of the quesadillas, so I always have more for them if they want, but I like to start them off with just a little bit. That way they can ask me for more if they want more. Of course, they are always welcome to it, but they don't have to feel obligated to eat a ton right off the bat. Here's my plate. I served mine with some lettuce, sour cream, and taco sauce on the side, and that was all. Now we are going to be making some Parmesan crusted chicken and green beans. This is one of my favorite dinners. I especially love the green beans. So we're going to go ahead and start off with that. I added a little bit of salt to my pot of water, and we are going to blanch these green beans for 3 minutes. And after that 3 minutes is up, you want to directly put these green beans into an ice bath. I'm just going to let my green beans sit in their ice bath until I am ready to cook them up. Now we are going to be working on our Parmesan crusted chicken. So you need a cup of breadcrumbs and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 egg and a tablespoon of water, and 1 cup of flour. I'm seasoning up my flour with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. Once everything is well combined, you will start coating your chicken. So my chicken tenders I seasoned with the same seasonings as our flour, some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. And I'm just coating them in our flour, then our egg wash, and then into our breadcrumbs. Once I have all of the chicken coated, I'm going to go back over to my stove, and I have my cast iron heating up with some oil in it. I'd say about 2 inches of oil for these chicken tenders, and then I'm just laying my chicken tenders down, and I'm going to let them cook on each side for about 5 to 6 minutes. While that chicken cooks, I am ready to start on the green beans. So I have my smaller cast iron out and I have it nice and heated up with nothing in the pan. I like to put my green beans in first and blister them all up, and then I'm adding some salt, some pepper, and in just a moment I will add some butter and really get these green beans going. We like our green beans pretty charred, so I cook them for pretty close to 10 minutes, I'd say, and that is it. This is how the dinner turned out when we were done. I just went ahead and threw some butter garlic noodles with some leftover pasta that we had in the fridge. Here's how I served it up to the kids, and you guys, this chicken is always such a huge hit for my family, as well as the butter garlic noodles. They really love this combination together. Here's my plate. I just sprinkled some Parmesan cheese all over my green beans and pasta. On this night in particular, I didn't have anything set out for dinner, so I wanted to show you guys a quick last minute dinner that I do if I don't have any meat set out and I kind of forget about dinner that night. We try to have some type of meat already cooked and in our deep freezer just for on nights like this where I have spaced out on dinner. So this was some pork that we had that was just baked in the oven, and we didn't use all of it, so we had frozen some of it for a night just like this. I made the kids some white rice and I'm giving them some applesauce again. And then I'm just cooking them up some zucchini with some butter, salt, pepper, and Flavor God's garlic lover seasoning. And that was it for this dinner. I almost didn't even include this dinner in this week's What's for Dinner video, but I definitely wanted to share with you guys some real life dinner ideas because sometimes these nights just happen where we have spaced out on dinner and we've completely forgotten about it and we can't really order out or run out to get anything. So having something like this as backup is definitely a staple in this house. Now we have finally made it to the end of the week where my husband is off of work and he is cooking dinner, and it always turns out absolutely amazing when he cooks. So I can't wait to share with you guys my husband's famous ribs. We have 2 full racks of baby back ribs, and all of these seasonings we are going to be seasoning up our ribs with. I will be sure to have this listed down below in the description box to make it a little bit easier for you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch him work his magic. Now listen, if you're wanting to come in my comments to tell me that was way too much seasoning, you just go ahead and add however much seasoning your heart desires. My husband is always going to add however much his heart desires. Now we are just covering up these ribs and we are going to bake them in the oven for an hour and a half. And you guys, at this point, I almost didn't even want to show you because I thought I was going to be having people knocking on my door to come get some of these ribs because they were looking way too good coming out of the oven. But here's how they are when they are out of the oven. We are going to go ahead and throw them on the grill. That is my husband's favorite part of making ribs. He likes to get them really fall off the bone right there in the oven, but then he is going to wrap them up and take them over to our grill. We are going to cook them on the grill for another 30 minutes wrapped, and then we are going to pull them out of the foil, so that we can add our barbecue to only one slab because my kids don't like barbecue. But if you guys like barbecue, go ahead and add barbecue to the full 2 racks of ribs or however many racks you need. Cook them with the barbecue side down because it's going to get so nice and crispy, and that is just how we like our ribs. Now back inside, I'm just making some of my super quick stovetop mac and cheese. So I have some small shells that I cooked up. I'm adding 1/4 cup of milk and 1 cup of Velveeta cheese, which I just cut up into small blocks so that it melts a little quicker. And that is it. Just keep stirring that over low heat until everything is combined and you literally have your own homemade Velveeta mac and cheese. This is super easy and my pickiest eater absolutely loves this. Here's how I served up the kids' plates. They each got a rib or 2 or 3, however many they wanted, and they all had seconds or thirds. And here was my husband's dinner plate. And here is that barbecue sauce that we used on our ribs. I couldn't forget to show you guys. It is so good. It is the Kinder's roasted garlic barbecue sauce. Really hope you guys enjoyed this week's What's for Dinner. I hope you guys got some new dinner ideas for your family. If you are still here watching, then I appreciate you so much. Make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know which dinner from this week was your favorite dinner, and we will see you guys back in next week's video. Bye!